Do you want to save money on your next backpacking meal? Do you like trying new things? If the answer is yes to both those questions, well guys, you've come to the right place. What's up everyone, Will here. In this video I'm going to talk about how you can save on your next backpacking meal with a very inexpensive and tasteful meal that you can enjoy not just in the backcountry but even at home, all for less than $3. Now, that has nothing to do with cup of noodles. It's not going to be anything to do with ramen. It's not going to be anything to do with the north side here. No, this is something that many of you guys might not yet be familiar with. It's something that I actually stumbled into at Walmart last summer while I was browsing for some food items to pack along on my big Uinta 444 trip. So what I actually stumbled into at Walmart last summer were these Couscous Packets by a company called Twisted. They look pretty flavorful to me. There was actually a handful of flavors and they were only $1 each. So with how easy I knew that couscous is to prepare with such a convenient little package like this, at only $1 each, there was no way I could say no. So I grabbed a handful. Wait a second, why am I telling you all about this? I'm gonna go buy me a whole bunch more while I can. Alright guys, now let's dig in. And for the record, no, I did not buy out the whole store. So let's look at some of these flavors, shall we? So first up here, I've got one here called Moroccan inspired fruity flavor couscous. They've got a Mexican inspired smoky one. They have that listed as medium spicy level. Then they've got this Mediterranean grilled vegetable flavor. And then they have this Italian savory lemon with sunflower seeds. So those are the four that I picked up, and I actually picked up quite a few of those. They had one other flavor on the shelf when I was there. That was a Italian sun-dried tomato and chili. For some reason I just passed on that one, but maybe next time I'll pick that up to add to the collection here. Looking up more information on the brand, I found there was quite a few more flavors available, and you might even be able to pick them up through Walmart.com. At least it appears so. As I was browsing down Walmart's website, they had some additional flavors listed available there. One was Mexican smoked paprika and lime rice. Another one was Singapore savory rice, West African jollof rice, and a Jamaican rice and peas. So those all sound interesting as well, at least they do to me. So some other interesting tidbits about this Twisted brand is that the company is actually based in England. That's right, over in the UK. Twisted Flavor Company, or Twisted Food Company, is a property of a company called Symington. And they're headquartered over in England, in Leeds to be exact. Now, as far as backpacking with these meals go, something that many of you might be interested to know is the calorie count on these. So most of them are ranging between about 350 and 370 calories. So yeah, here's one, the Mediterranean, that's got 350 calories going on in there. And the Italian one goes up to 370. Now, that's not very much compared to what you can get in, say, a Mountain House meal, especially if you eat and consume one of these whole pouches whole yourself. This particular meal here is a lasagna with meat sauce, and they go 220 calories for a serving, and then so that's actually if you split this up into two, that's actually a lot less calories than what you get in the couscous here. But if you eat a whole pouch here, you're gonna get 440 calories. So some of these Mountain House meals, I can't really stomach comfortably all by myself. So with some of these meals, I actually split in two, and you end up actually getting a little less calories out of it that way. But if we compare this other popular brand here that's hit the market last couple years and it's become really popular, is this Peak Refuel brand. And this guy has a ton of calories. Flip it around here, and you can see if someone consumes this whole entire meal in one go, that's pumping in over 1,000 calories out of this pouch. That's a lot of calories, guys. So just for some perspective here, I've got another flavor of Peak Refuel here, and it's got 370 calories for a serving, 740 for the whole pouch. And then this other Mountain House here, it's a chicken and dumpling. It's 300 calories a serving, 600 for the pouch. Back to the Twisted. So if those calories aren't enough for you, or you know, you want some protein mixed in, which I would encourage supplementing with protein. You've had especially on a trail, you've had a long day on trail, and you know, you've exhausted those muscles hiking with your pack on. Treat your muscles to a little bit of repair with some protein. So of course, if you're vegetarian, you're going to want to come up with some alternative source of protein. But for me, I'm a fan of the little single serving meat pouches that you can also get at Walmart. And got a few here. And luckily enough, as these couscous packets. If not, they're probably the next aisle over, but they're very close. And these work really, really well to mix up in the couscous meals here. So one of my favorites that I've found has been the white chicken here. And this is one happens to be an applewood smoke flavored chicken here. And I find that pairs really well with the Mexican smoky meal here. So it goes pretty good. Another one that this particular chicken goes really well with is the, find it here, the Moroccan fruity flavored couscous. Another one of my favorites I found that sounded really good when I paired them up and proved to be right was the Italian one here, mixed with the Star-Kissed packet of tuna. It's this Evu Select flavor here. It's the extra virgin olive oil with sun-dried tomato in it. And that just goes so good with the savory lemon Italian themed couscous here. So good. Now, let's talk price. So we already covered that these meals, each of these pouches, doesn't matter what flavor you get, at my Walmart on shelf, they're $1 each. That is amazing, guys. And then you add a pouch of chicken, you know, this Walmart happens to be Walmart brand, single serving. It's $1.18, and it will add 70 calories to your meal. So if you're pairing this with, say, the Moroccan fruity couscous, it's 350 calories, 70 calories. That brings you up to about 420 calories. Yeah. It actually brings you into the ballpark of this whole meal here, the lasagna and meat sauce, which has the 440 calories going on here. So yeah, 420, 440, you're really close there. So another thing that's really kind of impressed me with these Twisted Couscous Packets going on here is the relatively low sodium content, especially when you compare it to the Mountain House meals and even the Peak Refuel meals. These twisted couscous packets are hovering at around 420 milligrams of sodium, and so that's putting you at about 18% of the recommended daily value. And this one's got 19% at 450 milligrams, and this one's at another 420 milligrams, 18%. So as you can see, the sodium there is not all that bad when you compare a Mountain House meal here, which is, like how guys, if you ate this whole chicken and dumplings, you'd be putting in a whopping 1,780 milligrams of sodium. That's clear up to about 77% of the recommended value. That's a lot of salt. And then if we compare, let's say, this Homestyle Chicken and Rice by Peak Refuel, they've got 610 milligrams, or 27% of the recommended value of sodium in the single serving. Double that for the whole pouch here. Brings you up to 1,230 milligrams, 53%. That's if you eat the twisted meal alone. I suppose if you're going to add some of these single serving chicken pouches or tuna pouches, you're going to be adding in a bit more sodium here. So that's where you up the sodium here. So you got to be mindful of this. 430 milligrams, so an additional 19% in this pouch of chicken. And then you've got pulled pork. I did not mention the pulled pork. That would go really good with maybe the Mexican smoky flavor here. I'll have to try that next time. But yeah, pulled pork, that one's running 430 milligrams sodium, 19%. For the Evu tuna here, 360 milligrams, 16%. That's interesting. That's a little lower than the chicken. And I thought that would be higher because, you know, tuna is a saltwater fish. All right, so some of the other things that I really like about these meals is, again, very compact, packable package. You don't have to repack this at all, so it's very convenient packed, just like these Mountain House meals are, and you know, some of these other meals that you can get at the grocery store just work really well when you can keep it in its original packaging and just throw it in your food bag. And these are pretty lightweight for what they are. Only about 3.5 ounces in weight, if you can make that out on the bottom there. Now what I think these twisted meals are really good for, and mixing in the meat packets here to supplement your protein, is that they're a great alternative to those Knorr sides and the ramen stuff and even the boxes of mac and cheese that you can get away with. All those low budget options are great on the wallet when out on the trail, but if you really want to mix some things up and try something new, you guys have got to give this a try. And if you want to save some money from your standard Mountain House or your Peak Refuel, I mean, what are these guys running at? About $8, $9, upwards of $10 in some stores. These Peak Refuels, which will run you about $11 to $12, maybe even $13 to $14, depending on where you're picking it up at. You go away for a week-long trip or more with this stuff, that's going to get really expensive really fast. But you pair up this guy for $1 and $1.62 plus tax, you're under $3 for that. Or $1.18 for pulled pork or applewood smoked chicken, also $1.18. and another $1. That's less than $2.50 for a meal. That is amazing, guys. So another thing that's really awesome about these couscous packets is they only take 2/3 cup of boiling water. And you stir that into it and let it go for about 5 minutes in your pot or a freezer bag. If you don't like rehydrating your food and eating out of the pot, you want to keep your pot clean, you can throw this into a little Ziploc freezer bag and pour your hot water into it there and just let it sit for 5 minutes. The stuff will soften right up. And then you can come back and mix in your chicken. So yeah, you can't beat that. You know, aside from a no-cook meal, 5 minutes on 2/3 cup of water, that beats these guys for sure, which usually take about 10 minutes to rehydrate and about 2 cups of water on average with the Mountain House brand. Peak Refuel usually only takes about 1 cup of water for their meals, which is pretty awesome. But you think about 2/3 cup of water, how fast are you going to get 2/3 cup of water to boil? You're going to get it lightning fast on most stoves out there. So yeah, another score there for this Twisted brand. Now, some things that I don't like about them, and it's nothing on the Twisted brand itself, it's that they are exclusively only available at Walmart. I don't know why. It's not a Walmart brand. It's they're actually distributed through a company out of California called Golden West Food Group here. At least that's what it says on the back of the package here. And, you know, they come from the UK. So that's not coming from Arkansas, guys. Don't know why only Walmart has the deal with them. But I hope that the brand can continue to grow here and grow their market here in the US. And maybe someday we'll be able to find this stuff available in other supermarkets as well, just like you would a North Side and ramen and all that good stuff. So for some people, again, they may still prefer the convenience of being able to just pour their water in the pouches here that you get with the Mountain House, the Peak Refuel, some of the other backpacker specific brands of food out there. That is just boil water, pour it in, and you eat out of the pouch. You don't have to do any dishes except clean your utensil off, keep your pot clean. Well, with this stuff, you're gonna have to boil your water in your pot and then pour this right into your pot full of hot water. Or, like I said, you'll have to repackage it into a freezer bag and rehydrate it there if you want to keep your pot clean. So that's something to keep in mind. Well, that's all I've got for you guys in this video. For those of you who were not already familiar with these Twisted brand couscous meal options, I hope you found it useful and helpful. Maybe it gets you excited to run down to your local Walmart and hunt some of this stuff down to pair up with some little chicken pouches and or whatever else you want to throw into it, and make a super cheap and rather flavorful meal for yourself next time you're out on a backpacking trip, or even at home, wherever you happen to be. But for those of you who might have already stumbled into this stuff or otherwise discovered it, I'm really interested in hearing your opinions, your comments on it. How did you like it if you had a chance to try it out? And for those of you who may have already discovered this stuff and tried it out, had a chance to try it out, I want to hear from you guys. Leave some comments below about what it was like for you, what were your impressions of it, and how did it compare for you against, you know, some of this Mountain House stuff or the Peak Refuel meals here, which, by the way, I really like some of the Mountain House meals, and I will definitely still be eating them on some meals from time to time. And then I especially love some of the Peak Refuel meals. These are really awesome. But for me, these are kind of a premium luxury for me to have out on trail. Again, the cost would run up really high if I took those out for like a week-long trip for every meal every night. But definitely, usually I will take one on like a multi-night trip. I will splurge for one for like the final night of the trip. But I don't think you can go wrong with these twisted meals either. So they're just, again, lightweight, cheap, convenient, and just all around a good value, good bargain for what they are. And yeah, so that's going to do it, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do so. I've got some big things coming up this year, and I've got a new camera that I'm shooting on right here now. So my goal is to actually be pushing out a lot more videos this year. But I got some big trips and some exciting things in the works for this year. So you don't have to subscribe, but if you do, that'll be really awesome. I don't think you'll regret it if you're into backpacking, hiking, and camping, being outdoors. So we'll see you next time, and happy hiking, everyone.